So here's the ugly truth. We've all said the following in some sort of argument. We've all said something kind of along these lines. You're overreacting. What you're saying is not true. I never said that. That never happened. You're sounding crazy. It's not one of our finest moments, but it's also one of those human moments where we don't want to admit that we're wrong, so we'll kind of employ these tactics to make the other person think that they're wrong and that they remember things wrong. Now here's a catch. There are people that do this long term. There are people that will use these tactics in order to always prove they're right, in order to control the person they're with, and basically make the person question their own sanity. Now that is known as gaslighting. So I'm going to use this video to explain to you what gaslighting is, a few examples, but most importantly, guys, I'm going to use this video to show you how to respond to a gaslighter in very few quick, effective ways. Because if you are being gaslighted, you are already overwhelmed, you're already questioning your sanity. So these are just some really quick, fast methods in order to respond to them as soon as possible. So let's see who left the gaslight on, but also how to respond to your gaslighter. And let's start. First of all, if you are new to my channel, make sure to introduce yourself in the comment section below. My name is Olympia. I have a degree in cognitive neuroscience and art history. And what I like to do, I like to dissect that pretty little brain of yours to see what makes you tick, but also makes you talk. So help a girl out by smashing that subscribe button and ringing that bell so you guys get notified when I make new videos every Thursday. And let's start. First of all, what is gaslighting? Gaslighting is a type of emotional abuse where the abuser makes you feel that whatever you're doing is wrong, whatever you remember is wrong, and you end up questioning your own sanity and your own version of reality. Now, it's very hard to pinpoint gaslighting, and one of the things that I want to emphasize is that number one on how to respond to a gaslighter, make sure you're being gaslighted. So here are very few quick examples of what gaslighting looks like. So gaslighting involves trivializing. So that means that the person is minimizing your emotions. They're saying that you're overreacting. It involves diversion. So they will avoid the topic, whatever is bothering you, they'll kind of brush it off. It involves countering, which means that they will make you question your own memory. So they'll make up events that didn't happen, or when you say something happened, they will say that that never happened. Like, for example, that you send a specific text, they will actually erase the text and show you like, I never sent you that text. And of course, the good old forgetting, denying, refusing, basically saying that whatever happened never really happened. These are some very quick examples of gaslighting. Now, you may have heard of gaslighting in the workplace, in romantic relationships, in politics. It became a really big trending word in 2018 during Trump's inauguration because it was one of his main tactics. And also gaslighting from the movie. I've done a lot of videos on gaslighting. I will link them below. I've done gaslighting at work if you want to know if your boss is a gaslighter or a coworker. I've done gaslighting in relationships, Gaslighting 101, where I show actually how it looks from the point of the gaslighter, and of course, examples of gaslighting. Now, in terms of how you're feeling and how you respond to the gaslighter, you feel a lot of self-doubt, you feel overwhelmed, you feel that you don't really know, you keep questioning your version of reality, your version of the events. You apologize very often to the gaslighter because they keep calling you out on things that they believe are false, but in reality they're true. Now, aside of giving you these effective ways of how to respond to a gaslighter, I really want to emphasize that gaslighting brings out a huge sense of overwhelm. It brings a huge sense of self-doubt and what is your reality. So I've put together for you guys a free guide of 6 ways to underwhelm when you're overwhelmed. It feels that when we're overwhelmed, we can't really tackle anything in life, regardless of gaslighting. So this is one of the reasons why I really, really think that this guide will help you guys. Make sure to check out, I will link it below. But number one is to make sure that whatever I just said to you right now, you are being gaslighted. Number two is writing down your evidence. So writing down a conversation, a text, a call, keeping them on record, that could really help you ground you in your reality. make you hold your stance that this actually did happen. So basically putting on your Sherlock cap on and start going into investigating mode to make sure that whatever the person is denying actually happened. Now, collecting these little pieces of evidence is harsh truth time. It's not mostly to shut the gaslighter up, because chances are that a gaslighter will never admit they're in the wrong, because that's the whole point of that's why they're emotionally abusing you, because they need this to feel in control and that you are always in the wrong. But think of those pieces of evidence as almost pieces of your sanity coming back together, and you suddenly start to feel much more grounded in your truth and in your version of the events. Now, in order to amplify, in order to make this even more powerful, it's important to have a soundboard. It is important to have a friend or a family, even a coworker if you trust them, and tell them what happened during the event, what the other person said, and what you said. So when the gaslighter starts to question that, you can go back to that soundboard, back to the person that you trust and that remembers what happened in the event. Because gaslighting involves a lot of distorting your reality and your memory, and it makes sense for you to question it sometimes. The next thing you can do, if you are really sure that you want to confront your gaslighter, and I'll explain really soon why I believe that you have to be really sure if you want to confront your gaslighter, is employ a tactic that I've spoken about in my previous videos, and that is triangulation. So that could be your soundboard, the person that you are trusting to tell them what is going on in your relationship, any type of relationship. Bring them into an actual conversation with the gaslighter and help them to verify, help them to push your point. So a very broad example would be that, let's say you and the gaslighter are having a discussion about moving in together, and you are feeling that you are making progress and that you're having a conversation, a solid with solutions and everything. But then the gaslighter feels that this was a mistake, that they are not ready to move in together with you. So they will turn around and say something to the sorts of, I never said this. I never mentioned that we're going to move in together. And why are you pressuring me? And why are you creating all these scenarios? Now, if you have that soundboard, if you have that friend, that ally that can come with you and say literally to the gaslighter, hey, you said this. It's not bad to want support, because if you're probably a very empathetic person, if this is happening to you, you may feel kind of guilty that you are teaming up on the person that's gaslighting you, but chances are they've also kind of employed that tactic. And let me know in the comments below if someone ever has brought someone else in a conversation that happened between just you and the gaslighter in order to make you feel that your point is wrong. So has the gaslighter ever brought in a family member or a friend or a coworker where the coworker actually takes on the role of the gaslighter and says, you know what, the gaslighter's right, you never said that. So think about it like this: even though you may feel guilty about it, it will really help the gaslighter in understanding that what they're doing doesn't really work anymore. The last thing that I wanted to emphasize is that make sure you really want to confront your gaslighter. Harsh truth time. If you are with a gaslighter and this happens on a very long-term basis, chances are they're not going to change, because this emotional abuse is a cry for help, for control. The gaslighter craves control, and that's the only way they know how to gain it. And if the gaslighter doesn't want to seek professional help, you are deteriorating your own mental health, and no one deserves to question their own sanity. No one deserves to feel like they're going crazy. So a big thing that you'll have to decide is whether it's worth confronting them or whether you should just leave and put yourself first. Get in touch with your hobbies. Get in touch with your families and friends. A lot of times what gaslighters do is that they take you away from your friends and family, because the more they take you out of your own reality, the more they can immerse you in their reality. And lastly, even though I'm not a licensed therapist, I am a firm believer in seeking professional medical health. Therapy helps a lot in responding to gaslighting and know how to respond to it in the future, because it's something that has a lot of triggers later on in life. So I hope these fast, quick, effective ways of responding to gaslighting help. Make sure to check out my other videos on gaslighting. I cover a really wide variety of topics. I'm always open to suggestions. Help a girl out by smashing that subscribe button, ringing that bell, and make Mama Other Than Love me by giving me a huge thumbs up. But most importantly, guys, share this video with someone who needs to know how to respond to a gaslighter. And that's it, folks.